of the opportunities and resources that might persist and permeate within their own communities. And I think that that's something where we can interview Dave and allow to speak about all the tremendous work that he's doing within his community, setting up, his school, and what does that do for people within that community. I think that I would definitely love to lend my talents and my skills to uh, telling stories that really can uplift and inspire the people around us, and really focus on highlighting individuals who are making a difference when it comes to apprenticeship. So I think that, like the Solar Foundation has some apprenticeship programs. There's also some other people within the community, LA City particularly, that have apprenticeship programs. I would love to do a story. One of the things that CJ brought to my attention was like, hey man, like we should totally do a story on like the Boys and Girls Club, you know what I mean? And highlight, the success they've had with just youth activation and providing a positive outlet and source of educational resources and values to young students. And what if there's a way to help align with the Boys and Girls Club with apprenticeship, because then you have students who can then take these Boys and Girls classes, have tutors, have mentors, and then have occupational opportunities that come out of it. So
Okay.
in regards to telling stories, it's really just about focusing on the impact.
So we have a chance to start to put together the agenda or the program like right now. So if we're going to do this, we have to obviously figure out how long the podcast is going to be, what day part of the day we're going to do it, but we're going to have to figure out how long it's going to be, and we have to put together segments. Are the segments going to be 10 minutes, 5 minutes? Are they going to be a panel? All these are the structure of what I want you guys to help determine as what this would look like as a presentation for you by you. So has anybody put together a run of show ever? Okay. So I'm going to give
Is
you
that
guys a
question,
lot of your
hey,
time. Huh?
Heaven? Is that question to the students or to
Well,
anybody?
everybody, I guess everybody, because again, I mean, the most important thing is that I want this to be full collaboration. I've done a run of show before, but you guys aren't going to learn how to do one if I'm, doing all the work.
Okay,
So
so that's one of our services. So we build podcasts for people and video casts for people as well. So to answer your
David,
question,
can you come online? Because there's like four guys who've come on after you that you didn't meet you before.
oh, okay. So hang on a minute. I'm in another area. Hold on.
Mhm.
I want to piggyback off what Sonny was saying. Hold on one moment.
And for the guys who came on a little later, Bryant, Keon, and Aaron, can we see your faces? Because we didn't get a chance to meet you guys just for a few minutes while you're talking to Dave.
Yeah, I will turn on my camera. Just give me 5 seconds.
Yeah, we just lost Aaron, so thank you, Bryant. And Keon, if we can get you for a few minutes.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. I'm in the middle of a couple of things at the same time. With one of the luxuries of having Zoom, you can put it on mute and continue working on these projects. Anyway, so to piggyback off what Sonny was saying, that would be a great video cast in terms of highlighting two sides of that. And what we're trying to do here at New Horizons Institute is twofold. One, we're focusing on students with learning disabilities in four different areas. I won't get you into the details, it's a little long on that. But on the other side of that is also educating the business community on how they can utilize and the advantages of learning, of working with students with learning disabilities and special needs disabilities. So the podcast would be great. Since we've already done podcasts from start to finish, including hiring the people to do the voiceovers for the opening, teaching the businesses on how to structure their podcast so they'll get a CTA at the end, a good quality CTA at the end, and good half an hour shows or depending on how long the podcast is or the video cast is, um, the benefit behind that. So I would like to do, if we are going to do something like that, I would like to just not just focus on the students that are trying to get into particular, the apprenticeship programs, but also how to focus on educating those businesses and how they can benefit them as well. So it serves twofold. And the reason why that's a good benefit for us, it also highlights your apprenticeship program, but it also brings in more businesses that maybe want to be interested in your apprenticeship program. So you're bringing in new businesses as well. So it's what kind of serves two benefits.
Well, and so I would say the exercise that everybody would then start deploying if they're going to be part of April 30th is that we're going to have to submit some ideas. But it starts as being a researcher, as being a journalist, a backpack journalist, to research the subject matter, the individuals within the subject matter, and to come back to the group with something that could be a segment. And when we have to decide how much time do we want to give that segment to make up the program.
You also want to think about also when you're doing these kind of video casts is I know you're focusing on what's happening at that particular event at that particular time, but also you can also think about using B-roll footage and stuff like that. So when you're doing your research, you can also videotape and do other things outside and then bring that information into the video cast, which then can be shown during the video cast. So help to highlight that as well. So it's not you don't want to think of a video cast, which is what's different about a video cast versus a podcast. It's because most podcasts are just audio, which is great for what you're trying to do. But when you're doing a video cast, you have the luxury of the visual part being shown, so people can see more of what's going on and behind the scenes, and also can see what's going on when you start adding B-rolls and a whole flurry of other things. So that kind of opens up your apprenticeship program, not to just focus on that particular day in terms of researching for that particular day, for that particular moment, but also adding other information, B-roll stuff that you can go out and research and bring to the table as well. So those students who are, as I said before, like Sonny was saying, learning for people with learning disabilities, they can also do research and interview doctors and interview other people and have that information brought to the table as well. So they can also learn how to build these visual um, additions to this podcast. So that's something just to think
Very,
about
very
as
good
well.
point, David. Yeah, the distinction between a podcast and all the other things that we can do to make our presentations more experiential, especially as Dave said, the visual part, but not just the audio, the visual, but I think any other elements, music, just anything we can do to make the presentation more dimensional is what we can really stretch our imagination as to what we can't do or can do to reach our audience. Okay, we're just about up on time. I wanted to have Keon and Bryant introduce themselves because they didn't get a chance to. So Bryant and Keon, what we did is just introduce ourselves, maybe about 60 seconds about who, what, where, why, and how you plan on using the Heartbeat Dakar apprenticeship to your own benefit. So let's start with Bryant at the top.
Hi, my name is Bryant Ford. I'm an actor, director, and artist, and how I plan on using the Dakar apprenticeship to my advantage is, of course, mainly connections, meeting people, learning. Like I'm learning a lot just listening right now about, how to do a podcast and the difference between a podcast and a video podcast, and I'm really excited about just being a part of it and just learning new things about production as a whole and how I can apply that to my career with the people that I meet here as well.
Great, thank you. And then Keon.
Hello, guys. My name is Keon Thomas Hill. I'm an actor, writer, and producer. And first of all, I want to give my gratitude to Kevin Clark, and I want to give my gratitude to everybody who's on this meeting. It was a successful UCLA Pulse event, and I thank you guys for inviting me. How I plan on using the Dakar Foundation to my advantage is really me going out of my way to make sure that not only Kevin knows, but my peers knows that I'm trying to grow as far as personal growth. I mean, I can go on and on about what he just said, but I really also want to grow in a personal way, whether it's meaning like the gaining the skills that I need to be in those spaces so that I can know how to navigate every entertainment space, every space that I can, do. And I feel like the Dakar Foundation, the Heartbeat Dakar Foundation, will give me an opportunity to grow in all facets. If it's talking about my career, if it's talking about my personal growth, if it's talking about gaining the skills that I need to be able to go into a space and be able to easily navigate it, regardless of how diverse it is, regardless of how different it is. I feel like the Dakar Foundation will definitely be able to give me the resources I need to be able to just grow overall, and learn how to be able to benefit myself in the long run. So, and not only that, just be able to help others, because that's another goal of mine, being able to help others and learn how a foundation works. Because ultimately, one day when I'm able to be on Issa Rae level, be on these different stars level, I want to create my own foundation. So, thank you guys for letting me be a part of something special.
Okay, great. And guys, I'm going to take maybe a couple more minutes because I want to show you some of the content from last week, from last Friday. For some of you who saw this, put this in the Slack channel. This was us streaming live one way from UCLA last Friday.
I think you got a new screen there.
I can see a screen. Can nobody else see a screen?
No, I can't see his screen.
I was able to see his screen.
Can you do it one more time for us, Kevin, please?
Okay.
Thank you. For whatever reason,
All right.
Welcome, everybody. This is Shane Hyman. I'm here with Dakar Foundation at the UCLA 2020.
Kevin, do us a favor. There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
We're all able to see it now. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Hello, welcome everybody. This is Shane Hyman. I'm here with Dakar Foundation at the UCLA 2025 Pulse Conference. And we're excited to be here celebrating. We've brought our student apprentice here to do some digital media and entertainment for the Pulse Conference. Very excited. Extra shout out to Mr. Jay Tucker, who always puts on a phenomenal annual event. And here joining me right now is one of our star student apprentice, Lou, and he's been learning, he's been applying, and he's having a good time at the conference. Go ahead and tell the folks how it's going today so far.
Yeah, so I mean, the event's going amazing, man. From the jump, it's been all good vibes. Everything's going smooth. The times are good. Nothing's going haywire, which is really good because the best way to get a good event, you want the smoothest transitions, the smoothest talks, the smoothest everything to make sure everything is smooth. And I'm honestly really excited to see the more interviews that we're getting because we have the team running around right now. We got a couple interviews. We have a team in there inside the conference area, as well. So I'm really excited to see what the interviews look like afterwards and seeing everybody that we get a chance to interview.
Man, that's right, Lou. It is. It's very exciting. I'm glad that you, all the other students are here learning. You're having a good time. You're being hands-on, right? So you have a chance to be exposed to these industry leaders. You have a chance to get exposed to the professionals, the folks in academia. You get all of that while also being able to be hands-on, work the tools, learn how to do a stream, learn how to work the professional camera and audio equipment and things of that nature. And the one thing that I'm very excited about is when we think about the Dakar Foundation and digital media and entertainment, we're talking about learning, applying, and most importantly, the point that I want to make here is flexibility. So when you come to a conference like this is a big conference. They have so many different sound stages, right? They have the main stage, they have other interview rooms, they have a lot of things going. But we have been able to cut out our own little corner here and put together our own broadcast as well through a student apprentice program where folks are being able to have paid work experience and apply this. So thank you very much for being here. And everybody who's tuning in or watching this as a replay, we're just going to do some B-roll. We want you guys to see the excitement. We just finished one of the conferences. You saw folks coming out of the main room We want you to see the excitement around here, and we'll be getting started with another interview very soon.
Okay, guys, I'm going to push this forward. This was for 4 hours.
With Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried.
Let me see if we caught Issa Rae.
To shoot here, but I think that I know that as an industry, we can have an impact in terms of getting these tax credits or making it more appealing to shoot here. I think we're pricing ourselves out in certain areas and not using our power to the best of our abilities. And while, I know the mayor and governor are working on ways to incentivize filmmakers, I think there just need to be certain mandates, and especially if we want Hollywood to survive, because this is kind of it. You have so many cities and countries replicating this model, and we will lose if we don't make it a priority to shoot here.
Yeah, importantly.
Can I just say something?
Okay, let me stop sharing for a second.
By the way, one of the days.
Uh-oh. Stop there. Okay. I'm going to give you guys back your time, but go ahead very briefly, because I've got a couple of things I want to point out about the apprenticeship program and getting paid before we leave. But go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say quickly, the great thing about what we just saw and the great thing about the Zoom and you having recording all that is for young creators like ourselves to be able to see kind of what happened and hear the kind of points that all of these people who are successful was talking about, and be able to use that to our advantage, because I feel like a lot of times we don't get to see or be in those type of spaces. So to be able to be in that type of side of that space for the people who weren't there, and see the type of things that they were talking about, it definitely could be used to some people's advantage. So that was good.
Right. Thank you, Keon. So again, that was done with a iPhone 12 and a laptop. No microphones. I mean, we did have
14 Pro Max.
Oh, 14. I'm sorry. I don't want to short you. Okay. But that was done, with bare bones equipment and software. Just think what we could do when we have the microphones, the mixers. We have all that stuff, and we can connect the stream to a broadcast cinema camera. And we've done all that stuff before, but we have to just really understand, using our imagination, what can we do to put a show together that reflects all of our talent, all of our resources, all of our networks need to see what we can do as a video, as Dave said, not a podcast, not a live podcast, but a live video cast that can reach all the people who would say, man, okay, I wish I was there, or I wish I could be on that desk, engineering it, shooting it, mixing it, whatever. So between now and April 30th, I'm hoping that through the Slack channel, not through email and text messages, people will start to talk amongst themselves, or with at least Shane and I, about what they would want to do so we can put this into a run of show. I believe this is Tuesday, so I'm looking at by Friday, anybody that has any ideas on how they want to participate, we need to start collecting those ideas for our run of show. So this isn't the place or the time to do it. Now, I want to save this for last, but Alex has left. For those people who are wanting to get paid, there's paperwork that has to be done. If the paperwork isn't done, and most of the people have done the paperwork, but we're trying to get the program started simultaneously with all the training, so that we don't have people coming in after week 2 or 3 of the training and trying to catch up with everybody else. So we're going to take one more pass before we get everybody in a position to get paid, to try to sign them up and get them in a position so that they can qualify for what's something that's called WIOA, Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act dollars. For the three people, Kayla, Jasmine, and Becker, I'm going to send you guys a document that I need you to fill out and send back to Alex, which I'll have his email on there, so that we can get you guys put into the appropriate categories for WIOA. Now, WIOA is only for 16 to 24-year-old individuals, but there is dollars available for people 18 and over. But you still have to qualify. We can't pay you unless you go through all the qualification steps set forth by the state of California. And this is really what the world of work is that this paperwork has to be, supported with your documentation, your driver's license, your social security number, and you're going to get $17.88 an hour, which is not a lot of money, but it's 160 hours of paid on-the-job training work. Our goal is to get you past those 160 hours so that we can get you elevated to $20 an hour and paying us out of our pockets. So that's what we're looking at. It's an earn to learn to get to the $20, but everybody's really trying to get to something more reflective of your fair market value. $20 is what you can get at Burger King. So, if we can get you working on a set or a sound stage or a crew, there's a lot more money available for you guys. And so I'm doing a lot of research and journalistic investigation about where those kinds of jobs are working in the entertainment industry and the creative tech industry that are paying a lot more money than $20 an hour. So it's my job to try and figure out how to get you guys identified so that I can try and match you up with an opportunity to get an interview. I can't guarantee placement, but I can at least work towards getting you interviews. And these interviews aren't, just getting you into a union and getting you grandfathered in. They're there to test your ability to present yourself and to present yourself as somebody's next new employee or contractor. And in this case, you're not really concerned about W-2. You're concerned about 1099 or 1099 or W-9 or just getting on. But you have to present yourself as somebody that somebody's going to take on, and not just for your talent and for your skills and capabilities, but for your work ethic, showing up on time, leaving late, being able to really understand how to do what you can to fulfill the needs of the employer, not yours, your needs. Not identifying anything that's about you, it's about us, it's about we. That has to really become the one thing that I know that most people are going to have a difficult time understanding. It's not about you, it's about the people you're working for. And you almost have to fake it until you make it, because nobody cares about your problems, your shortcomings. They only care about what you can do to provide a solution for their problems, for their needs. It's tough, but that's what we're here for. If people have issues or if they have something that's going to prevent them from putting on that happy face and charming and capable and on time, let us know. And then we can, maybe put you back into the program at a later date. But I'm going to hope that everybody here is ready to go through a wall for the Heartbeat production, Heartbeat Studio, and Heartbeat Network. So that's kind of where I'm looking for April 30th to be our capstone. After April 30th, I think we'll have all the people that we can submit for paid work. The people who did work on UCLA, we're going to put in 6 hours of work towards your 160 hours that you have been committed for. But for everybody that is going to be part of the program, we're hoping that if you can get all your paperwork together, and that means you're going to have to be accountable for making sure that you got all your paperwork together, because that's part of the grown-up work that you guys are going to have to do. Is if you guys don't have all your stuff in, and it comes time to get paid, and everybody got paid but you, that you didn't get your paperwork in. It's not our fault. So, is any questions, suggestions, or comments about that?
Yeah, I had two questions. I was wondering for photographers, is editing time factored into the pay at all?
Well, no. Okay, so the time cards, it's not a time card, but it's actually a time sheet. Um, if you're working on a project and you have a specific role, I would say the most important thing that you will be checking in on is how do I apply any more hours to helping that project for the whole team become completed. So the most important thing, if you're not an editor, probably wouldn't be your responsibility to work on editing that piece.
Well, I took photos and I was told to edit them, so that's why I was asking.
Yeah. So what we have to do is really assign everybody a role, a very specific role for deliverables. And if you're a editor, I think there was only one person who identified themselves as an editor, Christian, who's not here. We don't expect anybody else to work on putting together the photographs, the B-roll, or even the streaming content into something that will become part of our capstone project, which is really the story that showcases all the work that we've done. So, because that's
Wait,
so to answer your question, working as a photographer, if we identify that as your role, I don't know if putting and curating all the photographs together would be something that we would assign it so we figure out how we're going to use those photographs.
because
Yeah,
I
so
shot in
Kevin,
RAW, so they need to be edited.
See that? Okay, so go ahead, Torrin. So say that one more time so I understand what you're
I
trying.
was saying I shot all my photos in RAW, so they would have to be edited either way.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes, well, yeah, if we can't manipulate your content to any standard for anybody to be able to edit, yes, we need to have your workflow completed in a way where we can actually all have the same capabilities to manipulate it. So it's great to be able to finish it so that it's all again in the workflow. It's capable for anybody to be able to use if it's Adobe, DaVinci
I
Resolve,
was
or
gonna say,
anything
I
else.
think Adobe and all those things do use RAW. So
yeah. So Kevin, just to clarify, the normal workflow for a photographer, similar to a videographer, is that you take the initial content and then you are uploading and editing it because you are trying to get those premium, high quality renditions for your final project. So the work that we turn in as photographers is the edited version of those photos. So I think what Torn is asking is that if those editing hours are attributed to that process, because it is within the workflow as a photographer. Generally speaking, as a photographer, you edit your own work. You usually don't hand it off to anybody else because
it loses value and it doesn't become your work at that point.
yeah, it's harder
Yeah.
to maintain quality and consistency the more times you have to hand off that content to. So in regard to the photographers especially, I think that that's a fair point, and something we can address later. But I appreciate you, Torrin, for
Well,
making that remark, and it's
well,
definitely something we should consider.
yes, and
I
so
appreciate you for explaining too.
hmm?
I was
Repeat
just
what?
saying I appreciate Sunny for explaining that.
Yes, and thank you again, because the most important thing for me is to get out of the way for all the technical experts at doing what you have to do to be part of the team. Um, there's, the one standard that I'm looking for everybody to do is to make sure that whatever you do to bring your expertise in, it becomes something that is a shared experience for other people to learn how you did that at some point. So, it is each one teach one, but it should be some way for you to share with people at some point what the end product would look like. So that if they failed in understanding the process, they can at least look at the end product so that we can stitch it together for the completion of a team need. And that's not only the video, photography, audio, graphics, everything. All these things have to essentially come together for people to stitch as or puzzle pieces for us to be able to have something that we can look at as a collective team. And again, the nuances of how you did it, I think that's something that if we spend hours on trying to figure that part of it out, I don't have any problem with that. It's just, that we need to really get to a place where we understand how we can do what we do and then play it back so people can see what we did. Okay. So what I'm going to do is use the Slack channel to do updates on where we should be, but I'm looking for everybody to put in their ideas on segments for April 30th, anything that they can do to show a idea that can come to life, or any needs that they have, or any contributions they want to make. Let's use the Slack channel. Is there anybody that does not have the Slack channel? I think, isn't it in the chat box, Sonny?
The Slack channel is in the chat.
Right.
Yes, it is. The link should be in there for everybody.
At 12:30, if anybody does not have the Slack channel, please copy it so that you have it, because that's what we're going to have to use as a common tool. The Slack channel will be the place where we start to build our run of show and agenda for the 30th of April, National Apprenticeship Day.
Where is the Slack channel?
Slack channel.
Oh, just like literally click the link, or do I search it?
Yeah, so you should be, Keon, I'm pretty sure you're in the Slack channel. It should see like brown bag pipeline for the Slack channel.
You sent it to me, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So you guys should all be in there, and then when you go into there, you should be able to see like the car events. That's usually where we're posting most of the information. Honestly, I think we're probably gonna make a new channel just for dispersing information. But like Kevin was stating, if you have no access to this, or you can't see it, or you don't know where it's at, please let us know right now. I'm also going to go ahead and just drop it into the chat one more time, just in case, people still don't have it. We can just get it out to you as soon as possible. But like Kevin was stating, that's where majority of the information is going to be coming from, if not all of it.
And for those people who really want to get, I'm actually going to be looking to hire someone to help me do this. I'm going to put this into the shared screen. So this is going to be extra work for people who want to start getting paid immediately. Is there anybody on here who has done a blog or a vlog on WordPress? Wait a minute, I'm going to put this up here first. Anybody? Can you guys
go more into detail?
Huh?
Can you go more into detail?
Okay, so this is a WordPress blog. Can you guys see this?
Yes, Kevin, you can.
Yes. So this is a WordPress blog. So I went to Las Vegas last week for the National Association of Broadcasters convention. And this is a blog that I did. It's kind of like my diary of the memories and moments of a backpack journalist, to review and see some of the different installations and booths that were there. So I would call myself a journalist, although I didn't get press credentials for this event. I came in there to not just look and see, but to report and investigate some of the stories that I had researched before I got there. And so this is what I came away with day one on being there. Some of you guys, I'll play this one clip.
It's from Tilta. It's just an extension. Yeah. It becomes.
But I can't see it.
Yeah, it's to see the DakarPathway.org site.
You have to close your screen and then share it again.
Yeah, it's the same sensor. It's the same sensor. Yeah, same sensor. Yeah. But what you can do, the camera is just 120 frames. Okay. Yeah, go back to that. Yeah. That's the big thing. So,
Hey, Kevin, just to let you know, we can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see the screen?
No, we can't. You have to.
It's frozen.
Yeah, end share and then share it again. I don't know why Zoom is like that. It's very annoying.
There you go. Now we can see it.
unusable.
Yeah.
It crops the sensor too much.
Yeah. And crop when you go from 6K down to 4K, yeah. We don't crop the sensors. We give the image view of that. We don't crop sensors.
Which one? The Komodo X?
Any of our cameras.
But how much you will crop the sensor on the 4K?
Well, you go from a 6K sensor down to 4K.
Right.
We're not cropping the sensor. We're showing you the image.
Okay, so this is Ivan and I.
It's a two-man camera. But the Raptor is that a one-man camera?
Yeah, you can make it. I mean, it's only 4.4.
So I'm going to stop this, but this is where I decided I needed to get to Vegas because there were camera manufacturers like Red, Panasonic, Sony, Ari, who else? But I went to all the camera manufacturers to meet them. I went to all the lens booths to meet them. I went to all the people who had other solutions like automatic focus pullers, lighting equipment. All of these different people were there, and there were over 100,000 people from around the world there trying to meet each other. This is where a lot of deals get cut, where you can get people to loan you camera equipment for product placement exchange, or to review their equipment so that you can give, a real either thumbs up or thumbs down of what their product is doing for you. In exchange, you get the use of equipment that you'd have to either purchase or lease. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of lenses, $50,000 cameras. This is where you go to get those relationships built. You're not going to meet these people at school, hanging out at Sammy's or some of the other places. This is where you have to go to create relationships. And the way you create the relationships is being in the room. So I did recording or a journal of my meetings with people that are hopefully going to donate or loan us equipment that we can use to start experimenting on how to be the best in breed of production and program. So I need to teach people how to do this, but I'm willing to hire somebody to help me do more blogs. But I have to do one blog, at least one blog per week. And all these blogs that I do, they turn into podcasts. That's why I do them. And this is the one that I did most recently was today. I did one for Jackie Robinson's birthday. But this is the one that's going to be most relevant to you guys. Can you guys see this?
Not yet.
Yeah, this is the news story that's going to be most relevant for everybody.
Oh, I can see it now.
For everybody on this call. I did this blog last week before I left, my last day. And I put a title on it. And what I found in talking to people is that there are over 100 film and television and anime and all kinds of other published content being done in one place in the United States. Not in Prague or South Africa, but in the United States. And it's very quietly become the center of Hollywood. Does anybody know where that place is? I kind of gave it away at the top of the
Albuquerque.
Yep. So I met people from Adobe, just a lot of folks who want to be part of the Heartbeat program. But Netflix built a almost $2 billion studio in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hulu's down there. All these companies that were based in Hollywood are now building streaming virtual studios in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And there's a reason why that's happening. At some point, we'll go over it. But this is where the shift is occurring, and it's not being shared with you guys. As you're going to school, as you're working here, quietly, there's people making moves, and it affects your ability to get your fair market value because there's other students and other places, and Las Vegas is going to be the next New Mexico. Sony and Warner Brothers are getting ready to open up a project connected to UNLV. My plan is to get you guys working wherever it is that I can send you. The cost of living in New Mexico is half of what it is to live in LA. So not only are people getting work, they can't find enough people to do work in Albuquerque, but the cost of living to even be able to live and work there is so cheap that it's become a runaway success. Now, I don't want people moving out of LA, but I want people to be able to make sure that they're not left without. So as I continue to grow, my challenge is really getting you guys placed, not just, at Heartbeat or in Los Angeles, but anywhere in the world. In New Mexico, it's 1,720 miles away. Las Vegas is 340 miles away. So as we start to work towards getting our competencies up and our standards up, is there anybody who's not interested in working at Netflix or Hulu in New Mexico? Anybody?
Anybody who doesn't want to work?
Doesn't want to work in New Mexico.
And it's okay to be honest.
I mean, as long as I can come back home, I'm cool with
I
that.
saw a hand up. Okay, Damone said he doesn't want to work there. Okay, I got you, Damone. Got to be honest, because, man, if somebody said, hey, I need an editor, or I need a shooter, or I need a graphic artist, or I need an IT person, and I want to make sure I'm not looking at you because
I'd work anywhere, honestly.
Huh?
I was saying I'd work anywhere because I kind of want to see more of the world anyways. So it'd be cool to see Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm. So, but these are the kind of things that I'm investigating as a journalist. How did I find out about this? I had to go to Las Vegas and had people, that I'm interviewing to tell me these things. You're not finding this stuff in the newspapers and, in TikTok or Instagram. These are stories that are shocking to people like me. And I wanted to share it with you guys so you understand that I'm not about sitting still waiting for somebody to help me. The only way that you're going to help me and help yourself is to become investigative journalists, to get in these rooms, investigate, find out what's going on, and then bring it back so we can actually figure out how to put it together as a blog.
Yeah.
And potentially a podcast. Does that make sense?
I was just gonna say real quick, I write concert articles in a similar format to this blog, and I've done a lot of journalism, so I'd be down to help out with the blog.
Okay, Torrance, so please, put in the Slack channel a copy of, or any of your blogs or any of your posts, because that's what I'm going to look for, is people's ability to show what they can do outside of their posts in Snap, Instagram, TikTok, and some of the other things. Because if you have your own blog, you can share your blog inside of all those other social networks, but you need to have your own URL, your own space.
Would sharing any of the articles I've done for publications work?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it gives me a chance to see what your look and feel is, because everything I did was just my look and feel. I put in, YouTube videos, Vimeo videos, Twitter, Instagram. I don't put any TikToks in there because their API doesn't match with WordPress. So, but those are the things that I think everybody could learn how to get better and verifying and documenting who you are and communicating and presenting to the rest of the team and the world that you got a brand, you got a shingle, You just don't have a social media network. You got a way to pull all your stuff together and talk about the things that are important to you. And that's how you eventually can become part of the editorial staff of the podcast. Because everybody has some way of curating this stuff so that we can understand your editorial strength. Okay? So we've been on for an hour and a half. This is the longest call we've ever had. Anybody? So again, for the new folks, for Kayla, Jasmine, and Becker, I'm sending you an email to fill out and to send back to Alex Caballo. We've got 4 more people that you guys have not met yet. We're going to be joining us. So by April 30th, we should have, a pretty good staff of folks working on that event. But I plan on making April 30th a way for everybody to show up to meet the new staff, not to meet the new staff, meeting the staff of Heartbeat. You guys have not met anybody but Emmanuel, but there's other people who are going to be important in the relationship building with Heartbeat. Will be there on the 30th. Okay, any questions before we break contact?
Sir, I just had one more question. I think for the payment program you were mentioning, it's for up to age 24. What if you're over 24?
Right. So that's why we have to put you into, there's another program for people 18 and over, 18 and up, so to speak. We have to qualify you for that program. And that is a application with something called the America Job Centers. And they are the people that would essentially put you into that application process. And so that you can have a earn to learn experience as you work with us. But there's guaranteed money available for people 16 to 24. With some of the present political situations that are going on, we don't know how much funding is available for people who are over 24. And it's why it keeps changing.
That's scary.
Well, but it's the world, and
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I don't know when even the programming for the 16 to 24s are going to be cut off. So we're doing all we can, and at least I am, to say that if we find that there are people willing to pay you $30 an hour to work in New Mexico, you might not want to turn it down. Okay. So anybody else with any questions? Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to send out the recording. I'll actually put the recording in the Slack for the call. But again, any ideas, suggestions about April 30th in terms of programming the podcast or the live video cast? That's what we're looking for. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Kevin.
Uh-huh.
This is David. Can you stay on so you and I can talk?
No, just call me right back. Actually, give me like 2 minutes and just call me.
All right, fine.
I'm going to cut this so I can start the recording. All right, thanks.